Assalamu alaikum. In yesterday's class, we saw some of the phrases that is most commonly used at a bank, right? And we also discussed, we also had some practice in terms of dialogues. Today, we'll look into some more activities and then we'll move on to our next topic. All right. So, I just found a couple of mm, grammar exercises wherein there are dialogues for different situations. Okay, so here's one of the examples wherein you find a clerk, a bank clerk, and a bank customer talking. Good morning, welcome to the Grammar Bank. How can I help you? So, you as a customer could say, good morning, I would like to open a bank account. I would like to open a bank account. Please repeat it after me. I would like to open a bank account. Sure thing. What kind of account would you like to open? A savings account or a checking account? So, see, most of us don't have any idea of what fixed deposit is, what savings account is, mm, what's the other kinds of other types of accounts there are, right? We don't know those, right? So it's better to ask rather than simply assume things, right? So you could simply ask, what's the difference? What's the difference? Please repeat after me. What's the difference? Right. Now, a checking account is designed to use for everyday transactions, yet the money in a savings account is meant to stay. So here, see, checking account would be more like what we have current account, right? So what we have as a checking account is very much similar to what we call the current account, right? So they have different functionalities. Savings account and the current account have very different functionalities. So it's better to ask rather than assume, so that you can apply for the account, open an account that is more suitable for you. A checking account is designed to use for everyday transactions, yet the money in a savings account is meant to stay in the account and earn interest over time. So it does not mean that you can't take out money from the savings account. Even though it will earn some interest if it stays there, you are you are allowed to take out money from it at any point of time. It's your money that goes in there. All right? I see. Actually, I want to apply for a credit card. That's why I need an account. So you can state the purpose of opening an account. So it need not be very mysterious, okay? So you can state it outright to the banker, to the bank manager or clerk, for what purpose you are opening an account. Okay? Okay, then you probably want a checking account. Well, thank you. I'd like that. Well, thank you. I'd like that. When you're satisfied with something, with satisfied with some proposal, it's better to say, I would like that. Thank you. Okay, all right. Sure, we will have you fill out an application form, please. No problem. So, if someone asks you to fill some form to carry on the further process, then be gracious enough to say, no problem at all. Sure. Okay. How much of a credit limit were you looking for? I would like a $10,000 spending limit. So, you could state what limit you require for your credit card. Okay? All right, we will see what we can do. We might be able to get you one of our gold cards with a $10,000 spending limit. Wonderful. Will I also collect points when I use the card? Sure, with a gold card, you will get 10 reward points for every dollar spent. Perfect. I have filled out the form. Do you need anything else? You just need to deposit a minimum of $250 into your new checking account. Very well, here you are. Thank you. Your account is set up now, and your credit card will be mailed to your address within 5 to 10 business days. Thank you for your help. Have a good day. Thank you, you too. A very simple exercise You may try repeating it to yourself so that you accustom yourself, familiarize yourself to the speech pattern here. All right. Moving on, I've got another example for you. All right. Excuse me, sir. Yes, please. Sir, I'm Rahul. He is my father, Mr. Kamal. So it's good sometimes to introduce yourself. Okay. Please take your seat. Tell me, what can I do for you? My son Rahul is going to study engineering in Bitspilane. Oh, I see. Very well. He needs money for his expenses. But we're not giving loan for the students. We're not asking you loan. Then what? I want to open an SB account. Sorry, there was some interruption. You can open it Pilani. We have branch there. No, sir. If I open the account here, my father will deposit money every month. So it is better to outright state what your purpose of opening an account is, right? Do you know any account holder here? My father is an account holder. Here is the application form. Please fill it and give it to the saving bank counter. How much should I deposit? You should deposit at least rupees 500 if you need checkbook. You have to maintain a minimum balance of rupees 1000. Can I get an ATM card, sir? Fill this form separately. Write your address clearly. ATM card will be delivered to you by post. How much do you charge for it? It will be given free of cost. Thank you, sir. Keep the ATM card safely. Yes, sir, definitely. Please practice this a little bit so that when you're asked to write or even use it in real life, it will be very, very useful to you. All right. It would come in handy at some point, inshallah. All right. So moving on. Now here I have another activity. See, all of it are from the net source. Okay. So you can also refer the guide. It does have some dialogues in it. You can practice those as well. Some instances, some do's and don'ts and all those. You can practice with those as well. All right. So there is this one another activity wherein you approach when you have lost a bank card. Hi, I lost my bank card. Can you help me? Now here, hi in Indian culture is sort of disrespectful when it comes to addressing someone elder to you, someone, uh, you know, probably a bank clerk of the previous generation. Obviously they would find it offensive, so better stick to good morning or assalamu alaikum if it's a Muslim, or vanakkam if it's a Tamilian. Yeah, these should suffice. All right. Hi, I lost my bank card. Can you help me? Yes, please tell me your personal information. What should I provide? Your name, please. See, the bank clerks are sometimes really very, very polite, but often it so happens that they are so busy and crammed up with work, they don't have time for politeness. So, all the please, sir, yes, sir, no, sir should be done on your part. Okay. My name is Changyan, CHAN, so you can spell out your name. Okay, you could because see, obviously they are not going to identify everyone's name or be familiar with each one's name, right? So it's better to spell your name out. Okay, tell me your card number. You can state your card number only at the bank, nowhere else. I see. And your ID card, please. So always carry something, something for your proof, to prove your identity. Here you are. Okay, now I can copy a new card for you. Please enter your password. Thanks. You're welcome. This is about it. Okay, so very simple and very simple dialogues, but I'm sure it gets the job done. All you need to do is practice, 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 practice. See, we can talk, we can use any language for that matter only when we have a working knowledge of it. Okay, because writing and knowing can take you only so far. You can know everything on earth, but unless you practice it, you won't get it. All right. So the main mantra here, you could call it a mantra. I would call it a mantra here, is um, that you practice. Okay, practice well. So moving on, we'll look into what makes for good conversation at the railway inquiry. Right. At the railway, see, everyday life, in everyday life, you often have to visit a public office like a bank or a post office or a railway station to get some information relating to the various facilities available there. It is also possible that you work at the inquiry counter at one of these places. So you could be a passenger who needs to make some inquiry, or you could be working in the railways as an employee and an employee there, right? So it is then your duty to provide accurate information to the public in clear language. So let's see from both aspects. Conversation at a railway counter. So if you are a passenger, you could say, "Excuse me, I'd like to have some information." Yes. What trains are there for New Delhi? There are a number of trains. The so and so or so and so, you could just like go on. I want a night train. Well, you can take the 101 then. That's the Rajdhani Express. What's the time of departure from Dhanbad? 9:10. And the arrival time at New Delhi? It's 9:50 the next morning. What days does it go? 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. What's the second class fare? Rupees so and so. Thanks, you're welcome. So, see, there is no friendly chit chat here because neither you nor the person at the counter would have any time for to idle for idle conversation. So, excuse me is a polite way of drawing the attention of the person at the counter. All right. So, and see, first of all, these inquiries can be made online, but there are times when we don't have enough data, or maybe it's quite possible that the railway website is not working, it's shut down temporarily or something. So in those cases, you may have to, because see, that is a very pertinent question most people would ask. Why do I have go and stand in front of a clerk and ask for these information, which is usually available all the time, anytime over internet. Yes, they are available over internet, but there are times in cases wherein there are some certain changes in terms of schedule, or some delays, train delays. In those cases, you will have to go and approach an actual human to get some information, right? So look at the vocabulary, make note of what kind of words are used. Very simple words, very polite words for making request, and specific hours and platforms and time. These are the main focus. Okay. Other than that, there is not much talk. All right. So we'll look into further examples. Now here is another example. Excuse me, sir. Yes, please. I want to know the availability of berth. Where to? Where to as in where? For where? For which place? To Delhi. When? 15th or 16th of this month. Do you need berth in AC or non-AC? In any class. Let me check. You have third AC in Tamil Nadu Express. When? On both days. Okay, I shall go on the 15th. Fill the form and give to me. So one more thing. I want to book for return journey. When? After 28th instant. May I use the same form? No, you have to use two forms. Give me 2 minutes. In which train? Tamil Nadu Express. For return journey? Tattoo in Tamil Nadu Express. Here is the form. Give me rupees 1,550. So here is the money. Here are your tickets. Thank you, sir. So, what's to know? Availability, birth, class. Okay, a very simple, straightforward question answer format here. What, when, why, how, which, you know, all these words are commonly used for making inquiry. For any kind of inquiry, not merely railway inquiry, no matter where you go, these are the basic things that you need to, that you intend to know, right? You focus upon. Now, here is another instance of lost luggage. So, it so happens that sometimes we do lose stuff while traveling, right? So, what do you do when you lose something? You go and lodge a complaint. You make a complaint or find out if they have found something in the lost and found section, right? Good morning. Yes, please, how can I help you? I lost my luggage on the train yesterday. Which train did you board? Which train did you board, as in which train did you travel in? For those of you who are not familiar with the term, when you say did you board some train, it means did you travel in some train? Okay. I was in Shatabdi Express from Delhi to Mumbai. At what time did the train start? Or what time did you board the train? Uh, so you could say the time. Could you please tell me in brief about your luggage? Obviously, they'd expect you to describe your luggage as to what you exactly lost. It was an American Tourister bag, dark red in color. It also has a big tag R letter written on it. So you need to describe exactly in perfect detail and precise detail what what is the thing that you lost. All right. So, what kind of bag it is, what color it is, was there some picture or an image of something, or probably a script or something written on it, on top of it? Was there somewhere tear on it? You could mention those. Could you please show me your ticket? Sure, sir, here it is. Obviously, you need to carry your ticket with you or show some proof that you actually traveled in that train. I also need your ID proof to register your complaint. So you'll have to provide your identity for registering the complaint. So here is my ID proof. We will be in touch with you as soon as we get any update. Just give us 24 hours. Thank you, sir. I'll be waiting anxiously for your call. Okay, so there are certain phrases or questions you may need to remember or you may practice at your leisure. Okay, especially these are very specific to certain instances, each instance. Okay, finding where to catch a train. Again, this is something I happened to come across over the net and found it, thought it would be quite useful. So if you need to catch a train and you are looking for where to look, if you're not used to it, is there a railway station near here? Say if you're somewhere in the neighborhood and you're not familiar with with the neighborhood, you could ask just about anyone, any stranger on the road, for directions to a station, train station. All right. Is there a subway near here? You could ask anyone, and please practice this. Is there a subway near here? Is there a subway near here? You just like repeat it over and over again, so that when you talk, when you really need it, it would come to you automatically without floundering. Okay. Where's the nearest underground or subway? You could ask. Where, or can you tell me the direction to so and so? And again, that's a fine way, a very fine, simple, and effective way of communicating, of asking which way you need to go. Is there a railway station near here? Is there a subway near here? Where's the nearest underground or subway? Or where's the nearest subway? Or where's the nearest underground? You could ask. Can you tell me where there is an underground or a subway station near here? You know, uh, a very simple way of asking question, right? Are there any underground stations around here? Are there any underground stations around here? See, is there? One sec. Is there? Is there? Where is the nearest? Can you tell me? Are there any? Hmm? Is there a? Is there a? Are there any? When it's singular, is would be for singular. Plural, when it comes to plural, you could ask it. You'd have to use plural here as well. Plural suffix here. All right. As stations. Is there a railway station here? Singular, singular. Plural, plural. Okay. If your verb is plural, you have to make your station plural as well. Remember. Okay. Is there a railway station near here? Is there a subway near here? Or if you wanted to use are here, you could say, are there any are there any railway stations near here? So a would become any here. Okay. Any. Are there any railway stations near here? All right. Be mindful of your um, you know of your plurals here. Okay. Are there any underground stations around here? Could you direct me to an underground station? Could you direct me to an underground station? If you are being very particular, you could use this. Could you direct me? Me. Okay? To an underground station. Please practice this. I mean, this is not something that is restricted to this particular situation alone. You could use it just about anywhere. Say you're visiting an institution, some new higher education institution, or you're going for employment somewhere, and you're in a new building, or you're going for a probably the passport office or a government office, or you've gone abroad. You can simply use these kind of questions to find your way out, because see, no one will lead you by your hand always. You should be able to get around by yourself, right? So in a very polite simple terms, you could ask someone for directions. Always also be very cautious about whom you approach, even though it's not part of your conversational English syllabus. I request you all not to approach just about any stranger on the road. Okay. So look for shopkeepers who come off as trustworthy. Of course, it's not written in anyone's face who's trustworthy and who's a villain. We don't know, okay, what kind of person, what kind of mind lurks behind the facade. But it is necessary that it is necessary you err on the more of a cautious side. Okay, be a little cautious when you approach any stranger for directions. Okay. So it's better to ask someone who already has a shop or something, a store, a departmental store or something on the way. You could ask those people. Okay. So they are bound to be there all the time, and of course, they'd be at a better place to answer your questions more reasonably. Okay. So be mindful of whom you ask. It's just extra precaution you take. Getting the right train. Do you know when the next train goes to town? Do you know when the next train goes to town? Or you could ask, if you have a particular name for the town, you could say, do you know when the next train goes to Vaniambadi? Do you know when the next train goes to, if Vaniambadi is not something that is known all over, you could say when the next train goes to Bangalore, yeah, via Arkonam and Katpadi. Okay. How often do these trains run? Okay, this is something you could ask at the railway inquiry counter, or probably someone who comes off as is traveling quite often. Okay, and there are people who travel every day, right? So you could ask them, how often do these trains run? When's the next train to the airport? Now this is something you would probably ask only when you're traveling by a metro or something like that, right? When's the next train to the airport? Which line or train goes to the park? Airport, park, all of these are, okay, fine. Forgive me, there is if there is too much background noise. We've got some birds, and I don't have any place to sit and take my class. Okay, they're making too much of a racket here. I hope it's not drowning out my voice. So you could ask, which line or train goes to the park? Which train do I take to get to the college? What number train do I catch for the city? See, is there a train that goes to the airport? So this is just a variation from here. When's the next train to the airport? Is there a train that goes to the airport? Yeah. Is there a train that goes to the airport? What is the next train to the airport? Is there a train that goes? So first you may ask this question: is there a train that goes to the airport? Then if the answer is yes, so when's the next train to the airport? Right? In that order. All right. So is there a train that goes to the airport? Is this the right line for the station? Get a ticket from the machine. How do I get a ticket from the machine? Oh, one sec. So these are some of the general phrases like get a ticket from the machine. The city service goes from platform 2. You have to change at the next station. The trains run every 10 minutes. You need the C line. See, these are basically questions, or you could be the one answering the questions from a co-passenger, you know. So you could say, why don't you get a ticket from a machine? Like when someone is floundering, where do I get a ticket? Where do I get a ticket? I mean, of course, we do. I mean, if we are not familiar with the scenario, we may go around asking questions, where do I get the ticket? So you could be the one answering as a co-passenger. You could be the one answering. You could say, get a ticket from the mission. So if someone asks, where does the city service, the city service leave? So you could say it goes from platform 2. You'll have to change at the next station. So if someone says, when do I change this train? Or it's like there are trains, there are times when you need to take double trains, right? Where you need to take a separate train to reach to your destination. So you could, if someone asks, you could say from at the next station. You could say you need to change at the next station. You'll have to change the next station. And the trains run every 10 minutes. This could be an answer for something like, uh, how often do these trains run? Right? If someone asks, how often do these trains run? You could say, it runs every 10 minutes. So what line do I need to take? Again, a line is not something that is used often. This word is not often used here in this in India. So it's, you could say you need that train or that line, right? I guess this is all for today, and there are certain other phrases as well at the station, and at the station dialogues there are a couple of just one dialogue here that I'd like to for you to work with. Something on railway reservation. All right, all of that we can talk about in the next class. This is all for now. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Please submit your assignments at the earliest. A few, only about 15 or 18 students have submitted so far. So make sure you all submit your assignment, because that will be counted for your next CI as well. All right. So thank you so much for your patient listening. Jazakallah, stay safe, be happy. Assalamu alaikum.